Right, we're fighting the wind today. So we've been watching this Desi Freeman propaganda, and I'm going to call it propaganda because this image came up on my feed. It was sent to me. Same house as Queensland. So I'd like you to find that property. I'd like you to Google find that property. Get onto the Google Maps, search around, find that property. Let's define exactly where that property is, because if they've used it twice now, then they're obviously lying, and then that means that those involved in the Queensland shootings are actually murderers of Australians. This would mean that the police are openly murdering you to keep their Zionist narrative. We're all sovereign citizens. No, we recognise you as an occupying power under the Hague Conventions that committed war crimes. International war crimes for the jibby jabbies and the forced masked medical procedures, the lockdowns, the shooting at an old guy while he was trying to cross a border that doesn't exist, that law, that you closed down. You're so lucky you missed. You're so lucky you hit the pillar of that car window instead of going through the windscreen and murdering an old man during lockdowns. Are we starting to realise the evil that runs our country? These police commissioners that are war criminals. War criminals. Openly on the media trying to uphold a narrative to a nation they fucked over so hard they can't even afford to buy a home anymore. Now, I downloaded a video from, I think it was the ABC, I can't remember. Could have been channel10news.com.au, it might have been.
When this house in Mount Druitt was bought 12 years ago, it cost just over $6,000, and the mortgage repayments are a mere $31 a month.
This was the family of 8 that caught everyone's attention, the Vandervoorts from Mount Druitt. The couple bought their house in the 1960s for around $6,000, which is around $96,000 in today's money. Monthly repayments were $31, which is around $270 today. They supported 6 children, aged between 8 and 19. Viewers today were stunned at how much the great Australian dream has changed. Even adjusted for inflation, their monthly mortgage was less than the average weekly rent in 2025. But the craziest detail was that the home was less than the owner's yearly salary.
Kees Vandervoort is 45. He's a mechanic, and in June this year, he paid tax on an income of $8,500.
Talking about the price of housing going back to the 70s. $6,000 for a house. Now, you'll all be confused because they talk about today's money. They don't talk about a silver dollar, the Currency Act, and 2 to 1 on that dollar written in the Currency Act. They talk about 65 to 1 in an RBA that you're all confused about. So I might go through that video and get a microphone out and do a voiceover of the news.com.au report. So it's coming to light that Albo's executive branch pushed the sovereign citizen ideology through that criminal muppet magistrate David Halpin from the New South Wales courts, who retired because he had mental health issues. So they're relying on someone with mental health issues to push out their propaganda. Someone with mental health issues. Interesting that. Why aren't you still a magistrate, David? Is it because you're a criminal muppet that they shifted off to the glass ceiling of academia so that you could be used in their propaganda in the future? You got old pretty quickly, David. Don't you like being their propaganda monkey? Please get on the TV again, David. We need you to spread more lies about those sovereign citizens that are starting to realise that they're an occupied people, occupied by Zionists. Zionists that fly a blue flag with a 7-pointed star. So we're starting to realise. Now, Jody Lowe, I saw your little Fastbook post. Why are you still on police Facebook? That's the place where the police prey on you. You haven't worked this out yet. You're still on police Facebook. And the idiot that said, oh, look at YouTube calling it false. No, that's the title of the video, you tard. This demonstrates exactly how educated you people are. About as educated as a lump of shit, basically. Now, Jody, good on you for looking, right? What you're going to find is that I've known the truth for 20 years and watched you all play this stupid that you've all played in that 20 years. And we come to this point where I warned you that the police would try and manipulate the situation to carry a narrative. And now it's come to light that the propaganda machine is lying about 2 police officers being murdered. Like they lied about the shootings in Queensland. Like they lied about Port Arthur. Like they lied about that other shooting. They're manipulating you. Fear, 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 fear. Fear us, we'll murder you. Fear us, we're in command. Fear us, we manipulate the media and lie to everyone. Isn't that right? Channel 7, Channel 9 that were caught out actually fabricating a mask story. I'll keep repeating that. Channel 7 and Channel 9 fabricate news stories on behalf of the police. Manipulate the narrative, keep control of the country, keep them oppressed, keep them as slaves. Don't let them wake up. Don't let them find their own gods. Don't let them find their Anzac. Anybody that relies on their Anzac is now a murder victim. Right? Because that's what they'll do. They'll try and murder you for your stupidity. Now, Desi, if you hear this, do not use a mobile phone. Find some way to write to me, care of Childers Post Office, so I can get your mail. And I will read it very loudly in front of everyone before these nasty grub thieving police get their hands on you, because they won't let you live. Right? They need to shut you up because you put something on the courtroom record, apparently, and they had to lie about that house. So find out where that house is, everyone. Go on the YouTube hunts. Be one of those geo-guessers and find that house. Now, back to the Bible, back to the foundations of God, in your Anzac, in your homeland, to help you define that government being a foreign power. Pauline Hanson serves foreign power. Everyone under oath in that parliament. Oh, Baba Betty, can you check this guy out? Baba Betty serves a foreign power and has been manipulating and gaslighting you since he got into that seat. And that's what they expect from Madison King. If we prop you up, you'll do our bidding. Isn't that right, Baba Betty? Government slave, aren't you, Baba Betty? Not a senator. Government slave. Do as you're told, just like Pauline, just like Elbow, just like Morrison, just like all the rest of them. Right? Barnaby Joyce rang his office yesterday and asked his office if they were manipulated by the Zionist Federation of Australia, and Phil just wanted to get rid of me off the phone. They know they're manipulated by the Zionists. They know. They totally fucking know. That's what we call a traitor. Okay? Pauline Hanson is a traitor. Okay? Baba Betty is a traitor. They serve Zionism. They don't serve you. They don't listen to you. They don't put the phone over to the representatives so the representatives can talk to you. They use gatekeepers in their offices like those Zionist puppets that manipulate Pauline Hanson's office and Malcolm Roberts' office. Chapter 41, because we should keep going. Now again, I'm battling the wind. It seems to have died off for a bit. And I've got some videos to slice in between. This will just be a hodgepodge again as we start to go through the last third of this book, which is now going to start to awaken you as to what you should be doing. Okay? We got to this point where you now know where your Zion is. We got to this point where you now know why I'm established as that King of Australia on the courtroom record. Now, I'll point out, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. That was done because I've never had a credit card, never had a home loan, never had a car loan, never had a shop card, never had a flybuys, spy-buys card, never had Coles or Woolworths rewards cards, never joined the membership of any of these retail outlets, right? Let he who is without sin, that knows his shit, establish these foundations so that you could come along and all see them together. Okay, and we got to this point, we're 40 chapters in, and I'm hoping that you're not dumb and you've started to realise, holy crap, he's right. We are a people together. We are that Kingdom of Australia. We are being manipulated by a foreign external power running the politicians in government. You can't deny this now. If you know your stone and you know what your Anzac laid down for you, how can you deny it? And if you were to deny it, would that make you a traitor to your own country? My God. Matthew, you're a disgrace to God, aren't you? Total disgrace to God with your little bitch Sue Mains next to you, right? Trying to copy everything instead of stand up with everyone else for it. So you're a disgrace to God, just like the police, just like the Scottish Rite Freemasons, just like some of those magistrates, just like those politicians, lying to everybody and manipulating them out of standing united together in something that was sealed a lot longer than you realise ago. We're talking 20 years now.
You'll have your own strong viewpoints, but I believe that they can be civilly taught. I don't think that wanting to ensure the future survival of my people is unacceptable or should be seen as offensive to other people. We have a right to our exclusive identity, our home, history, heritage, culture, and to exist as a people. Nobody has the right to take that from us. The people who are trying to take that from us are the extremists, in my opinion.
And I don't think that feels at all like exclusive or kind of contradictory with this lovely man could make a home here, because he's a gift to
Well, how do we explain to 1 million white children that have been raped in racially and religiously motivated crimes by people of his community? How is my community supposed to reconcile the fact that they opened up their doors, gave refuge to people that said, please let us come here for a better life, and then what do? Rape, rob, extort, terrorise and kill our people, and you expect us not to be angry about that?
Yes, I recognise none of that in this lovely man, and in most.
But it is coming from his community against mine, and it's racially and religiously motivated by foreign peoples that are coming to our country from our gratitude and kindness.
Rape, though, is not an exclusively Asian thing. There are white folks who.
Yes, there are white men that rape. Yeah. There are rapists of all things. The difference is that this is a racially and religiously motivated act of genocide that is targeted against our people to cause our peoples harm. In the Genocide Convention, it specifically states, B means causing physical and mental harm to members of a specific group. So you're not going to argue with me that gang raping children is not going to cause them serious physical and mental harm. And the difference is there's been 1 million white children, 1 million white kids in the last few decades that have been raped by Muslim Pakistani men. It is targeted, and our community have a right to be angry. If it was any other country and any other peoples, they'd be burning down the homes and shoving you out the country. But because white people are so tolerant, so far all we've done is demos, but that will come to an end, and I assure you. And we don't involve ourselves in gratuitous violence and terrorism. We're white people. We desolate continents, we wipe out civilizations, and we start world wars. So far we've been tolerant, but you wait until that tolerance is gone, when the Anglo-Saxon no longer wishes to tolerate the rape, robbing and extortion and theft of our identity. What's going to happen
from Germany or from Britain? Because they were originally Jutes and Saxons or Angles from Germany.
The Anglo-Saxons are a mix of the Celts and the Saxons, all northern Western European white race people. We have no genetic difference in our composition. Europeans are all one brotherhood. Before that, there wasn't any black, browns or Asians or anything else living in Britain. In fact, in the 1950s, it was less than 0.3% in Britain were foreign.
Syria, so what was Europe then? But even the definition, even the concept of Europe, Europa, Europea, was different 1,000 years ago. The Romans included Northern Africa, they included parts of Syria. So there's been a heritage of change. The terms you're using, what is Europe, what is Britain, all this is constantly changing. And people, human beings have been moving.
At all. Britain has been known as Britain and Great Britain since the Romans, right?
Britons.
Okay, we could say the same, right? So your home doesn't exist. It's been populated by lots of people. There's no such thing as Asians or Pakistanis, and it'd be perfectly fine if we were to wipe you out. Let's take your lands, let's take your identity, let's rewrite your history so that you're not part of it and make you not exist. You know why? Because nations and people are so interchangeable that it doesn't matter if we genocide an entire peoples, because we're all the same, right?
Katie Fannin, Bubba Kate versus the state.
You're not even up here, you want your own laws. They're trying to get Sharia law in London, saying that they can't be prosecuted.
I will let one of my colleagues continue. It was lovely to speak to you.
Fantastic.
And I am welcome to conversation.
What was you trying to get across there?
Well, when people think that we're being extreme or unacceptable, if what's happening to us was applied to any other peoples in the world, it would be seen as a crime against humanity.
Absolutely.
Yet when our identity is stolen, when our children are raped, when terrorist attacks are happening against us and we protest, they call us the far right. Could you imagine if 1 million black girls have been raped in racially motivated offences by white men? That would be all over the news. We'd never hear the end of it. But 1 million white kids can be raped, and we're told, if you talk about it, you're far right. They are coming over to our country and claiming what is ours, and what is exclusively ours, and then blaming us 300 years ago. Oh, well, you came into our countries. We came into their countries when they were underdeveloped. We raised their life expectancy and their standard of living. They come here to parasite off what is already a developed nation, and because of their hatred for us.
It is hatred.
And that's the difference.
It is hatred.
And yet they claim that us, defending our own people, saying that we have a right to exist, we have a right to a homeland, we have a right to our own history, heritage, culture, suddenly we're the bad guys. But yet they advocate this all for themselves. So that's why I'm saying you can't say that we're being unreasonable when what you're advocating for your own people, you're saying we can't.
Right? For you to come in at the end and go, I'll be the hero. You don't even know what's going on. Chapter 41. Keep silence before me, O islands, and let people renew their strength. Let them come near, then let them speak. Let us come near together to judgment. Renew their strength. So if we got to a point in the first 40 chapters that defines something that you can't deny, that you would all defend together regardless, and would your strength, your renewed strength, be in knowing that, so that that elbow-driven government Can't take that away from you. It's our constitution. We can be broke, but we can fix broke. We aren't poor. Do you understand now? We can fix broken. We can't fix poor. Now, we're not poor. We're just broke. And that renewed strength might start to change that, right? Who raised up the righteous man from the east, calling him to his foot, gave the nations before him, and made him rule over kings? He gave them as dust to his sword, and as driven stubble to his bow, and made him rule over kings. So we get to this point now where you can't deny the very things that I've been speaking about for the last 20 years, while you all scrambled around with your stupid ideologies and pushed the American pseudo-legal garbage pushed onto you by unknown policemen operating on police Facebook. Police Facebook. We just call it Police Book from now on, because that's where they hang out, right? He pursued them and passed safely, even by the way that he had not gone with his feet, his hand, right? We talk about that hand quite a few times already. Who hath wrought and done it, calling the generations from the beginning? I, the Lord, all caps, the first, and with the last, I am he. Right? And made him rule over kings. The isles saw it and feared. The ends of the earth were afraid, drew near and came. They helped everyone his neighbour, and everyone said to his brother, be of good courage. Be strong. Stand up. Speak. Rise. Finally, whack to all you stupid fucks that have been peddling your stupid crap around, like that idiot that went to the courtroom and the idiot that taught him on the videos, right? And then you got Jody Lowe, who seems to have realised something. What he's been doing is called a world of stupid. Are you stupid? Seems so. So now we have to everyone his neighbour, and everyone said to his brother, brothers in arms, the brotherhood, your Anzac, the sons of your Anzac, all those fathers and their sons over the age of 20, said Numbers 1, right? And all those women were supposed to support that instead of grow balls and expect to be the hero in all the courtrooms, said Monica Schmidt. Did Monica Schmidt sue Daniel Andrews or charge Daniel Andrews with crimes? Or was that just all propaganda on the tofu program, while we have Desi, who apparently did charge Daniel Andrews, being caught up in a false flag while they hunt him down and try and murder him? So the carpenter encouraged the goldsmith, and he that smootheth with the hammer, him that smote the anvil, saying, it is ready for the soldering. And he fastened it with nails, that it should not be moved. But thou, sun, moon, and stars, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Now, Abraham is a creation that you already put down on the ground. Some of you have already defined this peace sign of God, and that's listed in here, a sign of peace. A peace sign put on the ground with the 30-degree angles out to your two solstices, right? So we see that Abraham, Ab, stone, Ra, sun, Ham, nations. Okay, so there's this rolling going on out of a stone. Thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, Thou art my servant. I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yeah? I will help thee, yeah? I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Whack! Time to wake up, right? Time to stop all of your stupid pseudo-American legal garbage and stand in the lineage of your forefathers. Not that Zionist blue ensign that everybody wants to go and have a tanty with on the 31st. What you will be watching is children of the government whining at the nanny because they don't have any ability to stand up as men. Bunch of fucking children running around the city having a little tanty complain all the time. Never actually address your public servants and the criminal offences they commit on a daily fucking basis.
Australia, the lucky country. Do you feel that? Because I don't. Melbourne, the most livable city on earth. Are you thriving? Because I'm barely surviving. Hi, my name's Trent, and I like going for walks. I like unpacking my thoughts and thinking about my thoughts. And today it's grim. It's very grim, you know. Today is probably the first day I have admittedly pulled my head out of the sand. For the past 5 years, I've buried my head in the sand. If I'm honest, since COVID, it's been way too painful listening to the political spectrum or listening to any of the news. And I've also started speaking to a lot of people, and they're the same as well. So this is, you know, the reason I'm here is because I want to understand my thoughts more. I want to meet like-minded people, and I appreciate your participation. Realizing that I have much more in common with the everyday Aussie than I ever thought. And I love it. But also, like every other everyday Aussie, it seems like, what the fuck's going on? This ain't no lucky country anymore. I'm 30, I'm just starting to realize that my future ain't gonna be the same as my parents or my grandparents. I can't afford kids anytime soon. I'm 31. This needs to start bloody happening soon. I also can't afford a house. Ain't no way am I gonna afford a house. To even start to think about a kid, good luck. And I'm not the only young person like this. 30, young, laughing. It's a lot for me to comprehend, if I'm honest. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna get out of this. And I know I'm not the only dumb idiot in this boat right now. And it really hurts, really hurts. You know, 9 to 5, that fallacy, what a lie that is, you know. Get yourself a house, the Aussie dream. Man, I work in the construction industry, and all I see is Aussie families going into debt for shit houses, and then there's a lack of responsibility and accountability in that industry. And it feels like the rules and regulations are sky high for the everyday consumer, but not for the people fucking us over. What's all that about? And then I also, you know, just like the whole thing over COVID, this, in our Aussie culture, this, oh, she'll be right attitude. Let's just sit down, bend a knee. Throughout the whole COVID process, man, I have to gain a whole new friendship group. My brothers and sisters around me in our local community just split on me. They divided us and pitted us against each other. And I wonder what they're going to do that with the next thing. Because us as a society, we're not ready for it. I'm not ready for it. I'm still getting over the whole COVID thing. Man, and financially, how bloody tough is it since COVID now? I don't remember the 2008 financial crash, but supposedly that was the same thing as well. I've been talking to a few older people at the moment, and they felt the pinch after that too. You know, $750 a week. I asked myself immediately, where's that money coming from? Where's it going? Because the mum and dad businesses that I want my money going to, I can't support anymore. Just goes to the corporations. The amount of billionaires that were made through that process was crazy. You know, have you ever tried putting your fucking gas heater on for a winter? You have to cut your fucking arm and leg off just to pay for it. But we've got all this natural gas under our feet. What's going on there? The Saudis have cheap petrol and gas for their cars because they live on oil. We live on natural gas and it's so expensive. Why is that? Why do our minister or resource ministers go from the electric power where they're seated straight into the industries that they regulate? That's crazy. You know, the past 6 resource ministers have gone from their cushy positions in Parliament straight into the industries that they regulate. I didn't know that either. I mean, I've just pulled my head out of the sand recently, started listening to things, purely because I now realize that shit doesn't change. We need to stand up and start acting in unison. Man, I've also just realized that I have much more in common with my everyday Aussies. And that's really helped me understand that, man, we can unite. I actually feel like, you know, I want to meet some like-minded people. I want to start gathering together. I really feel like the tables have turned with the internet. They can't censor us anymore. We're too strong together and I can feel it. And that's why I'm here, because I want to meet more people like me. I'm putting myself out there and it feels silly, but I really appreciate your participation and listening. And I would love for you to leave a comment. Let me know how you're feeling at the moment, because I feel trapped. I feel scared. I feel burnt out. I feel like an idiot for crying right now.
Fear thou not, I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yeah? I will help thee, yeah? I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Behold, all that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing. And they that strive with thee shall perish. That's all of you tards that have been playing your American pseudo garbage, right? All of you tards complaining and tantying in the streets with your occupier's flag. You will be counted as nothing. You'll own nothing. Better get used to enjoying it, because you never stood to fuck up for your Anzac, did you? You whined and whined and whined and whined and whined for yourselves. Now, Jody Lowe should realise that by now. Holy shit, Steve's right. Holy shit, Steve's done some things. Holy shit, I don't know what those things are, but he gets the ability to sit here and speak very loudly with conviction. Right? As the wind blows around. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. Thou shalt seek them, and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing, and as a thing of naught. See how this propaganda machine's not winning against God? See how this propaganda machine's not winning against the foundations recognised by Justice Lonergan in the Supreme Court of New South Wales? Jesus came to fulfil the law, didn't he? Not break it. And what happens is, as you start to fulfil the law, those that operate for a foreign power start to break it. They jibby-jabby you. They force medically procedure you. They attempt to murder you. They human traffic you with traffic notices and fines all day, every day. And none of you ever rise up and say, this is unlawful. None of you ever stand up and say, you will not do this to us as a people. None of you stand united in some sort of real force that demonstrates that you're willing to go the extra mile to uphold the truth. And it's about time you realised to be of good courage, it said. Don't be a piss-weak little Australian like you've been for the last 20 years. Running around, running away from the problem. You never actually hit it head on. And that's what I did 20 years ago. I said, bullshit, this is not on. I'm walking into that courtroom and I'm going to file 6 times against them, and I'll hold 6 court cases until I see this through. Be of good courage, right?
The Team Trump's talking points are, he doesn't even know that word, or he can't draw. And not, why would anyone think he would write a creepy letter to a pedophile? I guess that's because Trump bragged about busting into the dressing rooms at Miss Universe contests and was accused of busting into the dressing room at Miss Teen USA pageants and told a couple of 14-year-olds he'd be dating them in 2 years. Yeah, and then there's this.
Do you think you could now be banging 24-year-olds?
Oh, absolutely. I have no trouble.
Would you do it?
I have no problem.
Yeah, do you have an age limit, or would you?
No, I have no age. I mean, I have an age. I don't want to be
the
like
upper bracket,
Congressman Foley with 12-year-olds.
I'm not a creep. I just want to make it clear. That is what he's admitting to when he knows he's being recorded. Literally, you're sitting in a studio with a giant sign that says, on air. And you're like, I mean, 12 would be just too much. I mean, come on.
For I, the Lord, all caps, thy God, capital G, lowercase, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of the sun, the moon, and the stars. I will help thee, saith the Lord, all caps, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of the sun, the moon, and the stars. Right? Make kings, and made him rule over kings. That Holy One would be that king for establishing this, right? Establishing something we haven't even properly discussed online as we run you through the first version of the Bible. There's more to this in its encoded words. You want to deny it? You don't know what it does. This is the book that founds nations. So if you hate this book, you hate your country. That's the same for America, right? All these idiots online pretending to hate God actually hate America. So if you're Australian and you hate this, you hate your Australia because it was born from this, right? Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shalt make the hills a chaff. Mountains, these administrations of your towns. The bank, in your shit. The hills, in all your towns and cities, mountains and hills, right? Cities and towns, administrations. I will beat them small and make them as chaff. And the chaff got pulled out as the wheat, which signifies knowledge and intelligence, grew up. Okay, so you're going to have that wheat, and bound wheat together means intelligence, not just knowledge. A thing of wheat means knowledge, right? And all that knowledge out there bound together becomes wisdom, turning water into wine. Knowledge into wisdom is another way of looking at it.
I saw Martin Bryant. He had his hands between this grill gate, white overalls, blonde hair, green eyes. I couldn't help myself. Dr. Lopez was leading me out, and I looked at him and he said, "Hello, Mr. Reed." And I said, "Why'd you do it?" He says, "I don't know." He said, "1 minute I was eating my Trevelyan peas, and the next minute the room was full of dead people." And that's how he spoke. He said, "1 minute I was eating my Trevelyan peas, and the next minute the room was full of dead people." He spoke like a little baby poofter. That's how he spoke, like a little baby retarded poofter. 1 minute I was eating my Trevelyan peas, and the next minute the room's full of dead people. Ho, ho, ho. And I said, oh, good. Turned around and walked out. But that's a very strange thing, considering he killed 3 people from a distance of 300 yards with a 308 bolt action. Straight in the face. Bang, bang, bang. Face shots. Got them all. Just blew their heads off. And he killed 2 other people 27 yards away, standing in the one position. He went bang, 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 bang. 3 people in the front of the Broad Arrow Cafe from 300 fucking yards. 300 yards. Who can shoot 3 people? They're obviously running or walking or bending over, crouching or whatever. Who can shoot people in the face from 300 yards away with a bolt action 308? 300 yards. It's a long way. Unless he is an idiot savant with a God-given gift for target shooting, and they could easily prove that by taking him to a military rifle range and giving him a 308 and getting him to just shoot targets under supervision. You'd have the gun chained up there so he couldn't spin it round on you. You have it chained up there, and so you couldn't move it like that way, just like bang, 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 just to see how good a shot he is. What went on there that day? How do you get 34 people? You know, from 300 yards, how do you shoot that many people? How does one man shoot that many fucking people? At this amazing distances, he's getting them with a 308 hunting rifle. Because there's a body of opinion that suggests that there are other people doing the shooting. You know? The whole thing was some sort of a get-up to take the guns off the Australian public, to disarm the Australian public. I sort of tend to believe it could be true.
Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them, and thou shalt rejoice in the Lord, all caps, and shalt glory the Holy One of the sun, moon, and stars, the King of your realm. Not a foreign realm, your kingdom of Australia. Now, here's the beginning of an article. I never lied to you. I told you the truth 20 years ago, and you mocked it continuously. Even Desi, who is on the run right now, mocked this for a very long time. Okay? And now you have this purple circle that you see in the Aborigine community mocking it too, but they don't seem to realise that we recognise Aborigine sovereignty pre-1967 when those Zionists manipulated the Constitution and took their sovereignty away from them. All you need to do is go and look at Lingiari and Gough Whitlam and the sand in the hand incident, where Lingiari asked for his land back. Right? Add it together finally. When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst, I, the Lord, all caps, will hear them. I, the God of the sun, moon, and stars, will not forsake them. I will open rivers in high places, and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water, and the dry land springs of water. This is you going into your towns with your new knowledge and holding your mayors to account for serving a foreign power. Serving a power that bastardized the title Israel out of the scripture to manipulate you like the devil. Yes, Satan. Satan put a mirror to all these words and proclaimed their right for greater Israel out of these words, instead of interpreting them for what they actually mean. They have been doing this on purpose to brainwash an entire planet. I will open rivers in high places and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will plant in the wilderness with cedar, the shitar tree and the myrtle and the oil tree. I will set in the desert the fir tree and the pine and the box tree together. There's a creation story going on here. Remember how I said the forest temple was a creation you needed to build out of this? Well, there's some hints as to that creation's parts. So it's talking to someone that knows this, right? It's talking to someone that knows these words and saying, your creation will the Lord establish. And this is what your Anzac did. Established that in the stone of remembrance. That they might see and know and consider and understand together that the hand of the Lord, all caps, hath done this, and the Holy One of the sun, moon, and stars hath created it. The King. The King created it out of the works of God. That's why I can stand here emphatically and say, you're all stupid trying to copy me. You don't know what you're doing. Your children, you haven't even grown up to know these words, right? And that creation was established long ago. We're talking 20 years now. You've seen that creation. I've put it on videos before. I'm not going to explain it because pearls before the swine, right, Matthew Aiken? You're a disgrace to God. A disgrace to God.
Do not be afraid to change your mind when the evidence turns against you. It's part of your own will, your free will. Make good use of it. A couple of months ago, I would be arguing with friends over something I know is wrong, over an opinion I know is wrong because of my ego. I didn't want to feel wrong. I didn't want to feel like I didn't know anything at all. But that's not true. As a human being, you don't know everything. I don't know everything, even till today. So why battle it out? Why try to prove that you're always right? Why? So drop your ego and learn to learn. Be humble enough to learn from other people. And, just accept the fact that you're not going to be right all the time. You're a human being, you're not a robot, you're not ChatGPT.
Produce your cause, saith the Lord, all caps. Bring forth your strong reasons, saith the King of Jacob. Well, our reasons are, you're an occupying power that went outside of the rules of engagement in the Hague Conventions and committed war crimes and just followed orders that were issued to you by command line responsibility in a Yamashita protocol. They're pretty strong reasons, right? They're pretty strong reasons to be able to stand here and point that finger at all those fucking criminals all the time. Right, Albanese, you thug criminal? Right, David Halbin, you propaganda mouthpiece. Please, David, we need you again for the ABC. We need you to defame all these people so we can go and murder one of them.
Let's be very honest about what this is right here. This is an attempt by Israel to control the information that comes out of Gaza, whether it is a camera, whether it is an influencer, whether it is a social media star who's doing cooking videos, or whether it is journalists who are working for all kinds of international news organizations. Israel does not want what is happening inside Gaza to be broadcast to the outside world. And so if they can prevent international journalists from going in, they can have a much better chance of delegitimizing the ones inside. They can say, hey, the ones inside are all Hamas. Their cameras are Hamas. I don't even know what a Hamas camera means. But the fact that they're willing to put out a statement and describe a camera camera as a Hamas camera is just ludicrous. It's absurd. Israel is saying that it's too dangerous for journalists to go in there, and they're the ones killing the journalists that are inside of Gaza. It just goes to show you that when you kill with impunity and no accountability, you don't have to provide a reason.
We need the rest of the population to accept our murder through our propaganda, David. You better do a good job. Dave, you didn't do a good job. You couldn't fight against this. You couldn't establish your propaganda in the foundations of God, because we could see it very clearly. You did a pretty poor job this time. You could have picked another farmhouse. You could have gone somewhere else. Is that a police farmhouse? Is that owned by a policeman or the police force, David? Let them bring them forth and show us what shall happen. Let them show the former things what they be, that we may consider them and know the latter end of them, or declare us things for to come. That the old stuff is Queen Victoria, right? And the new stuff is established in the lineage of. Show the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are gods. Yea, do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed and behold it together. Interesting, right? Go and do evil, Mr. Police Officer. Go and pretend to shoot someone. Go and get David to push your propaganda around on behalf of the executive branches of government. That evil? Go and genocide a population and exterminate 200,000 civilians. Now, right, Pauline? October 7th, October 7th, October 7th. That's all Liam ever spoke about in your office. Anti-Semitic, anti-Semitic. Your calls have gone to dry ears now, Pauline. No one gives a fuck. You're a bunch of war criminals. And you serve those war criminals under the thumb, under the peril of your own life, under the Hague and Geneva Conventions. Oh shit, right, Pauline. You serve a foreign power, and you're responsible for the demise of this country. Behold, ye are nothing, and your work of naught. An abomination is he that chooseth you. Does that now ring true, given the incident that happened over the last 2-3 days? Is it coming to a reality that these police are liars? Is it coming to a reality that Albo put the ABC propaganda together? Is it coming to a reality that this government don't want you standing up in your sovereign capacity in God, King and countrymen? They don't like your red flag. It shows them out to be the war criminals that they are.
What's your thoughts on what's going on in Palestine? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts about? Do you think it's
fucking disgusting?
Yeah. What Israel's doing to the Palestinians?
Yeah. Israel is out of order all round, mate.
What do you think we can do to stop it?
Stop the atom bomb on Israel.
The atom bomb on Israel?
Yeah.
What makes you...
I'm only saying this because I used to be a lorry driver to drive out there all the time. And you could never get into Israel without having problems. And now when I see it on the Gaza and all that, I think it's disgusting.
Why do you think that the media, like the way that they portray Ukraine, why do you think that's different? There's so much sympathy for Ukraine on the media, but when it's Palestine, there's no sympathy there.
Oh, I can't understand why there's no sympathy. Only because our government that's caused it is an arsehole.
You're right, mate. Thank you. Have a good day.
I have raised up one from the north, and he shall come. From the rising of the sun shall he call upon my name, and he shall come upon princes as upon mortar, and as the potter treadeth clay. Now, we talked about clay and the dirt and town, getting down through the dirt into the clay, into the bedrock. We talked about clay being used as bricks. We talked about a foundation in town, the pillar that's got all the dead names of your Anzac on it, right? He shall call upon my name. In the spirit of the Anzac did I call. That burning bush, you know, that eternal flame said, "Oi, Steve, can you hear me?" "Yeah, I can." "Listen very carefully. Take me back into the shrine. I'm naked out here." "Yeah, I hear you. I've got to go and call upon all these stupid children around the country that refuse to recognise you burning there." "Who hath declared from the beginning that we may know, and before time that we may say, He is righteous, yea? There is none that showeth, yea? There is none that declareth, yea? There is none that heareth your words." Yeah, because they're all dumbass children. Now, Jody Lowe, are you a dumbass child, or are you starting to realise something? I think you might have realised something. You've all been a pack of stupid children, and now it's time to rise and be men. Be men. "The first shall say to Zion, Behold, behold them, I will give to Jerusalem one that bringeth good tidings." Now, we discussed how Jerusalem was the sky story here, above a stone. And Zion was your stone, your king's domain. "The first shall say to the stone of remembrance in a king's domain, Behold, behold them, the Anzac, and I will give to this system above the stone one that bring good tidings," a king to rule over, right? The Lord of hosts ruling over a king, an established system vested inside a king and recognised by the judiciary as a curial right in the matter, involving curial punishment, right? Which means the Hague. Off with their heads for the jibby-jabby. For the jibby-jabby. "For I beheld, and there was no man, even among them, and there was no counsellor, that when I asked of them, could answer a word." That's the problem you've all had, right? That's the problem I've had, try to wake you all up because you're all woke as batshit, peddling all this stupid shit around while police murder you. Murder you.
I'm confused. All I hear from you, you spineless cowards, is how poor you are.
"Behold, they are all vanity. Their works are nothing. Their molten images are wind and confusion." They're molten images. Does that mean they're badges? They're badges? They're molten images, right? Are all vanity. They're false. They're fake. They don't belong here. They're not in the lineage of your forefathers. They're foreign to your lands. They deserve no honours in your lineage. We already discussed that honours in the last chapter, didn't we? So now that's chapter 41. 42 we keep going on with, right? So we're 23 chapters left to go. But you can see now, a king established something in those first 40 chapters, and it's still talking about that creation, because we talked about all those parts that you don't know. Pearls before the swine, right, Sue Gaynor? Keep digging in the mud, Sue. Where is it? You're not going to find it, because it's in here. It's in here. And I won't say here, I'll say here. In my mind, shared with people like RAR soldiers who deserve to know what they fight for. They deserve to know what they fight for. So you start to see now, was I bullshitting you at all? I've been telling you the truth for 20 years. I've established this on the courtroom record multiple times in multiple states and the Northern Territory. Why would I bother to continue standing up for this over and over and over again? Must be important, right? While you all scramble to be the egotistical little heroes. Are you a hero, Matthew? Are you a hero, Jody? I'm going to lead them all to slaughter. Well, you led all your countrymen into shit, didn't you? Lambs to the slaughter or sacrificial lamb? The sacrificial lamb is the king. It's one of us that stood up and did these things to establish them at law so that you could stand in international law and uphold international law, which is in the Criminal Code 1995, right? And hold these war criminals to account for poisoning the population. Every premier, every police commissioner, every politician in the state parliaments, every politician in the federal parliament. Now, I said this a long time ago. Do you think they were set up so that all the bad ones would do these things so that they could be cleaned up after the fact? Do you think this might have been a plan to allow all those evil sons of bitches in the parliament, like Jackie Lambie, to go ahead and break those laws? Would they have been put in a position to see how they would react in their ignorance, only to come full circle and realise they've committed a death penalty offence? At the peril of your own lives did you serve a foreign power under the Hague Conventions, under their thumb, right? And all those international rules that Trump wants to get rid of, hold them all to account. Is it any wonder Mr. Operation Warp Speed wants to get rid of the International Criminal Court? He's the one that pushed the Vax Superfast Operation Warp Speed. Jab, 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 was Trump. The pedophile, the rapist, along with Epstein. How many people in your parliament got Epsteined besides Malcolm Fraser and Bob Hawke, right? Bob Hawke's a known pedophile, and this government swept 29 names of pedophiles under the rug and said, you can't let the people know, because if they found out who was doing that in government, they would no longer trust in the government. Well, you're starting to realise why.
Because Israel is finally admitting that it killed 50,000 Palestinians on purpose. It wasn't targeting Hamas. The fact that there are already 50,000 dead in Gaza is necessary and required for future generations. Who said that? The head of the Israelis military intelligence that told that to Israeli TV, the former head. For each one victim from October 7th, when the Hamas attacked Israel, for each victim, he says 50 Palestinians have to die. By the way, I would say most of those Israelis killed on October 7th were killed by the Israeli army.
Yeah.
It's called the Hannibal Directive, where they have to slaughter them so they don't get taken hostage, which they did. You want to hear this? So here's the guy saying it. So the Middle East Eye they got a recording of this guy saying it, and it's the former head of the Israelis' military intelligence who resigned last year for failing to prevent the October 7th attacks. They didn't fail to prevent it. They intentionally allowed it to happen. They were in partnership practically with them. He says every now and then Palestinians need to face a Nakba every now and then, and that the spiraling death toll in Gaza is necessary. Here, you want to hear him say it? Here it is. So he says the fact that there are already 50,000 dead in Gaza is necessary and required for future generations. Okay, you humiliated. Okay, you slaughtered. Okay, you murdered. It's all true. The price, I said before the war, for everything that happened on October 7th, for each one on October 7th, 50 Palestinians have to die. It doesn't matter children now. I'm not talking out of revenge. I'm talking about out of a message. The future generations, there's no choice. They need a Nakba from time to time to feel the price. So he's saying that Israel needs to commit a Nakba, a slaughter of Palestinians from time to time. Not every day. That's exhausting. But from time to time. We need to go in and slaughter them as a message to future generations. Here it is. There's no choice in this disturbed neighborhood. There's no choice. So there it is. You could bring Kurt back up. And who said this? This guy. Aaron Haliva is a former Israeli major general who commanded the IDF's military intelligence directorate. He previously served as the head. Who cares? So that's who he is.
You're starting to realize that Zionism is that pedophile network. Prince Andrew, Epstein. Prince Charles, Epstein. Trump, Epstein. Bob Hawke, Epstein. Epstein, Mossad. Epstein, Israel. Israel is a pedophile network. We just saw that in America when that guy got released like a George Pell, right? Those papists get away with that pedophile network as well? Remember that girl that came out into the Australian media and talked about witchcraft? That would be those Scottish Rite Freemasons, unfortunately, doing their witchcraft on your realm while they steal your children and rape them. That's the reality you face while these police hunt down one of you, try to murder you for establishing that on the courtroom record. Will Daniel Andrews get charged and go to jail for life? We're talking about not running over someone with a bike, riding their bike along, and Daniel Andrews come flying around the corner and knocked him over, put him into hospital, almost put him into a coma. And he gets away with it because his Zionist handlers need him like they need you, David Halpin, to go up onto the ABC propaganda and peddle their lies to manipulate a population into believing your sovereign citizen American pseudo-legal bullshit that you push around on the Facebooks, entrapping them, using the police to make people get into trouble. Remember when the AFP manipulated that demented 13-year-old kid into believing he was an ISIS fighter, and then you arrested him after you trained him, and he was mentally incapable, right? Just like David with his mental health issues. Why are you using a mental health patient to push around your propaganda? Dave, you going to speak up about your mental health issues? Or are you just going to push their propaganda around like a good little hand puppet? Who's a good little hand puppet, David Halpin? All right, everyone. Now I'll slice and dice some videos in. As usual, you're starting to realise more and more and more of what I've actually done and what we can do when we stand up. So help out with the donations. We keep moving forward. If you go to this protest, you are demonstrating to the government that you're a tantying little ward of state, a child. Please, sir, can I have some more? And we don't do that. We stand here as men with God and uphold our Constitution so that these criminal cretins in government don't get away with any more war crimes. Don't get away with any more war crimes. Now, if the Pope went home, what right of administration do they have? They only have a right because you allow it. They only have a right because you allow it. They only have a right because you allow it. You fly their flags and not your own. You stand bickering with them instead of standing up as men and holding them to account to our Constitution. It's not their Constitution, it's our Constitution. And it's about time you all started to realise this and grew up a chest and were proud with courage, right? Grow your courage, it just said. Stand as neighbours and brothers, brethren, and all those women out there should support those warriors so that they can speak up, so that they can go and defend on the family's behalf. Okay? So help out with the donations, and we go on to chapter 42 next time.